Thanks so much for tuning into the Trade Setup with me, Niraj Shah. Let's try and take stock of what the situation is today. Well, as always, we'll start off with an interesting did you know? Did you know that Japan has one of the lowest obesity rates and the highest life expectancy rate? Percentages are even more interesting. So 4 to 5% of Japan's population is classified as obese, while Western nations can go up to nearly 30 to 40%. I don't know what the numbers in India would be, but just a comparison of East versus West tells you maybe how fit Japan might be as a nation. So very interesting one. Okay, global news flow. Tech led to NASDAQ underperforming, Apple led declines, and this is because analysts noted that shipping times could be pointing towards a lighter demand for iPhone 16 Pro. It's not great news for Apple, must say. Incrementally, the demand and the craze for Apple products, is it waning or is it just my imagination? Remains to be seen. Dollar index, one-year low of 100.7. Oil prices have climbed on the hurricane impact ahead of the US rate decision. Remember, the biggest central bank meet gets underway today. We'll get to know about the decision tomorrow night. But what's happened? The market is currently pricing in 62% possibility of a 50 basis points rate cut. This has moved up because I think the probability was 25% just 1 month back. Now the market is baking in some strong moves, and a negative surprise, if you will, or if it's only 25 basis points, might actually bring a bit of a sell-off in the market as well. So got to be mindful of that. But this remains top draw. Well, NASDAQ was down, Dow was in the green, futures currently extremely flat. I would reckon Asia too should be trading flat. Hang Seng about 0.88% higher, Nikkei 1.6% lower. Really doubt too much of a downtick can come into our markets ahead of the Fed decision. Well, the implied open is about 50 points higher. So what does it look like, the trade setup really? To my mind, the index is consolidating and unlikely to trade much lower. That is the first key point you got to keep an eye out for. In fact, the options market suggests a sideways bias, equal writing in calls and puts. At 25,200 is where the puts are written, 26,000 is where calls are being written. So very indecisive sideways market, very, very likely that the option writers are actually bracing in, and ahead of a big event, that is what will happen. The FMCG weakness, at least to my mind, may not just be a day's trade. I mean, you don't see an HUL fall 2%, and that's it because of the edible oil price uptick. So that's to be kept in mind as well. Some stocks which have been on a bit of a tear, I just wanted to mark them. Divi's Lab yesterday may have been quiet, but was up for the 9th day. Until then, longest winning streak in 8 years. Again, these things don't end with a V-shaped downtick. Edelweiss was up 4% yesterday. It's up 10% in the last 2 trading sessions, so really strong move there. BSC was interesting. This we are showing the Sensex, but if you look at the BSC stock price, that stock was up 17% in anticipation of the NSE IPO yesterday. So pretty interesting what's happening to some of the stocks. Listing today, P.N. Gadgil Jewellers subscribed about 59.4 times. I'll watch out for that. And then stocks to watch out for in the session today. After such a brilliant listing of Bajaj Housing Finance, P.N. Gadgil remains in focus, and some stocks remain in focus. So Vedanta, could it see the bitter end of the stick? Because there's a breach at process water storage pond at the Lanjigarh alumina refinery in Odisha. Supposedly a very serious matter on the ESG front. It may not have an impact on alumina production, but could it have an impact on the ESG basis? So I think that's to be watched out for. Reckon Vedanta could have a bit of a negative day today, who knows? Difficult to call that really, but just keep in mind, if it has a negative day, you would know why. Similarly, Panisha Biotech may be a bit difficult to call. They've reached a settlement agreement with Sanofi India in case of marketing dispute over alleged patent infringement. Sanofi's agreed not to commercially launch the disputed vaccine in India. My gut tells me that this should be construed positively. Let's wait and watch what happens here. SpiceJet, the stock has been on a tear, was up about 8% yesterday as well. Now we know that going to raise up to 3,000 crores via QIP at 61.60 per share. This is bankers in the know. The QIP has been launched. The indicative issue price is 61.60, so way lower than the current price, but a successful QIP could actually mean music to the ears of SpiceJet shareholders. So I doubt that this will really show a very large slam dunk reaction to the pricing of the QIP. If anything, the QIP getting subscribed well would actually be positive. SAMIL is the other one, QIP of up to 6,400 crores by equity, floor price at 188.85 per share. So in and around the current price, don't think too much of a reaction. Again, if this subscribed positively, could be positive. Remember, SAMIL is caught in a bit of a snowstorm, if you will, because Europe is slowing down, autos are slowing down. But in midst all of that, if they are able to conclude a successful QIP, which means they are selling the story well to qualified shareholders, it could actually augur well for SAMIL, so watch out for this one. Edelweiss as a stock could be interesting. White Oak Capital Asset Management bought 27.5 lakh shares, about 0.25%, not more, but at 124 apiece. This stock is at 130. Remember, this follows ADIA buying into Edelweiss day before yesterday, so watch out for this one. Some informed money is getting into the stock of Edelweiss. TVS Motors has launched the all-new Apache RR 310 at a price of 2.75 lakhs. This one keeps on launching bikes. Brokerages keep on upgrading the stock. Watch out for this one. Tarmac, it's a small cap stock, but the company in an 80-20 JV received a 139 crore order. May be construed positively, who knows. The stock was up already, maybe up today as well. MK made an interesting note on the paint sector. They said that Opus has not made any inroads in East India, given the limited offering and lack of brand appeal. Well, maybe, just maybe, Asian Paints and Berger don't have too much to worry about for now, at least in East India. But it's an interesting note. I thought I'll bring it to you. And lastly, a couple of brokerage notes before we wrap up. UBS has upgraded IGL to a buy from a sell, a target price of 700 versus current price of 529. They've reiterated a buy on MGL with a target price of 2400. The current price is 1821. They say that consolidation trend in CGDs could continue, and inorganic growth prospects and strong near-term fundamentals could support further re-rating. Watch out for this one, and watch out for Adani Green. Was up 8% yesterday. Yesterday, MK had upped their estimates. Today, Investec has initiated coverage with a buy rating, a target price of 2515. The current price 1930. They say their revenue, EBITDA, PAT CAGR of 34%, 37%, and 60% over FY24 and 30. This is really strong assumptions, I must say. They say strategic capital management, equity infusion by promoters, JV partners, and healthy OCF seen. And all of these positives negate the risk of equity dilution while maintaining comfortable debt to equity. Standard disclosure, of course, the Adani Group owns NDTV. You're watching this on NDTV Profit, and Adani Green is a part of Adani Group as well. Well, watch out for the Fed meet. That remains the most important thing. On television and on social media, we'll be on top of this. Thanks so much for tuning into the Trade Setup today.